All right, welcome back on the Sports Show. NFL recap, mainly Browns Steelers probably. You guys, who do you want to start with, Browns or Steelers?
You guys.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
we'll go Browns.
that sucked. Didn't have fun. Nothing good about it. That's my whole recap. We lost to the Jets. I know it sucks that the team was out and people want to make excuses like the refs scared us. We lost to the Jets. It doesn't matter. Play calling sucked. Couldn't run the ball. And that's what happens. You lose to the Jets. What, Frank? What do you want?
Jets, Jets.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch the game. Obviously, I was watching Steelers, but yeah, I was fun. The only thing I will say is I get the gripes a little bit. I mean, you get the cards you're dealt though, so it's like
Absolutely.
but I don't know. Here's the thing. I think if we were in their shoes, we'd be pretty pissed. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say I wouldn't be pissed. I'd probably say that's pretty unfair. So
Yeah, but they wouldn't feel bad for us.
No, I mean that's the same thing. I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't really feel bad, but I understand it. So
Yeah, to add insult to injury, I just got an update about my fantasy football score. I am down 151 to 53. So today is not gonna. It's just not my day.
Mine either. Mine's probably not good.
Yeah, I have a lot left, but whatever. So if anyone else have any more hate you want to get at?
I don't got any hate, man. I just sucks.
I'll just since we're riding a high note today, might as well enjoy while it lasts. When the season said the old man don't got it in him anymore, all that, blah blah blah. And he looked like he had it in him today. I mean, we're down 24-7, so we'll get to that later. But
how fun getting bounced in the first round.
I've heard for 2 years now that the Browns are going to take over the division. It didn't happen last year. We still finished better than them with our third string quarterback. And it ain't happening this year because we're back on top, like how it should be. So just a round of applause to my Steelers.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I remember, Drew. That was your big take. You said we'll win the champion, or we'll win the division, and then playoffs. But
and it was, it was a little bit of roller coaster for us. And we'll reel them back in, think they got a chance, and no, you lost to the Jets. See ya. And then the finish, the icing on the cake, we'll come back and win. And the only way we know how.
Feeling himself tonight.
As I should be, it's been a tough 3 weeks.
Fair enough, yeah.
And we've had come on, people have dealt it out to us. It feels good to dealt it back at them. So.
I agree. We got a lot of flack these last couple weeks, but
come on. I gave the Browns credit when they came out and crushed Tennessee. Where's our credit right now? I mean, we're down 24-7 to a good team.
I mean, a team we already beat. We thoroughly handled them. We didn't need to let it get close. So
thoroughly handled them? I thought it was like a touchdown game.
We were probably 10 the entire time.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty close.
Too bad you couldn't thoroughly handle the Jets.
It happens. We'll beat you guys this next week.
Dude, I mean,
I hope you can beat Mason Rudolph. We might have to bring in Duck Hodges for the second half. Who knows what's gonna happen then? I mean, we can't beat that dude.
I don't know. That's like there's part of me that's like, yeah, like wow, the Jets, it's embarrassing, but it's like
we didn't have anyone.
Washington. So
yeah,
I'll say
you lost to Washington, you lost to the Bengals. Oh wow.
Yeah, and the Bengals, yeah.
Yeah, and we still won the division. So yeah, wow.
Yeah, no, I get it. It's like, yeah, you always have
find a way, Luke. Don't find a way to hate on us. It's just how it is.
You'll get bounced in the first round. I'm positive. You guys are done.
Oh my! Not if we play you guys.
Yeah, exactly. We'll end you.
Yeah, not if we play you guys. Ooh, Baker showed a lot. He does a lot in Pittsburgh. I'd love to see him. I would love to
love to see us in the first round. Love it.
Oh, be careful what you wish for.
Of the four teams that would win their division, the Steelers are the by far least scary. Chiefs don't want to face them, obviously.
This is why I love Browns fans. I love how we kicked their ass 38-7, But
We're a
they
different
killed.
team.
They killed Tennessee. They killed Tennessee, but they would rather see us. Okay, buddy.
I wouldn't want to
Okay,
face
Baker.
Tennessee again. I would not want to face Tennessee again. I think we played really well. I don't think they play that poorly again.
Dude, I mean,
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, if you guys get in and that's your first, you come out and you win, and that's your first postseason win in how long? I'd be very upset. But I mean, I don't know.
Look, if they come out and beat us, I'm gonna put it on here because I'll relate to it back and whenever that time, if that happens, if they come out and beat us in the playoffs, you know what? Congratulations, you beat us in the playoffs. You can fire back at me whatever I said, whatever. I'll move on from it. Would that be their Super Bowl? Yeah, probably. Big deal. It's a fucking playoff game, first round play. And honestly, and I think Luke said this in one of the past episodes. If we do win our first round game, that means we are going far in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's what I said. I think it's either we're bounced in the first round or we're gonna make a deep playoff push.
Yeah.
I don't think there's really an in between.
I think the Browns have about one game in them, realistically. If we get to the second game, I'll be pretty happy.
Here's the thing. Like, when I saw that the Browns lost, honestly, my first reaction was like, that's a fluke win for the Jets. Because like I said, I'll give you guys some credit. You've been playing pretty good the past couple weeks since that Steelers game. I'll give you that. But
hey, wait, real quick. No one will give me though that I said they were going to beat the Giants and lose to the Jets. No one gave me credit for that.
No one thought that we were going to have our 4 receivers out with COVID. That's not something I can just, I'm going to go look at my little time machine, be like, the whole entire Browns roster is going to be plagued with a virus. Frank, I'm sorry that there's a pandemic happening across America.
I had the Jets before that even happened.
There is a pandemic happening across America. I can't predict that.
That looks me. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait. So thank you for actually making me look better because I predicted the Jets. No, listen. I predicted the Jets before that even happened.
Yeah, because you just hate the Browns. That was not a mathematical prediction. You just hate the Browns.
I don't know. My predictions have been pretty fire.
It was a pretty sarcastic prediction. Oh, your predictions are fire. Really?
Oh, well, yeah, really. I said he was gonna. They won. He won. Did I not? I guarantee to win against the Colts.
Are your picks doing today?
I guarantee to. All right, those
your picks. I think you're like 1 in like what? 1 in like 40 today.
Okay, Drew. How was your pick on the AFC North champion?
I mean, that was like months ago.
Well, how was it?
That's one pick. I'm money on my picks.
I got that one right. Oh,
wow, 1. Congrats. There's your 1.
Oh, hey, man, I got that one right.
There's your 1. And on this show, when we were doing picks, I was shooting over 60% and against the spread, too. So.
All right, all right, well, I don't do the against the spread until.
Frank, while I got you riled up, I think this is a perfect time to make a bet. So next week, the Browns are going to be facing the Steelers. Against the spread. I'll give you the spread, too, because obviously you probably won't play your starters, at least the full game. At least the second half, I'd assume. What would you like to do?
I don't think he's going to play at all, but, I mean, he doesn't – we have nothing to play. Like, if this is for AFC North, I would take this way more seriously. So – I don't know. Like, what do you want?
You want to do a jersey game? You never wore your Ohio State jersey when Pitt got thumped by Notre Dame.
Okay, come on. We all knew that was happening.
I mean, that was a bet.
What do you want me to do? I mean, I'd rather wait. I'll wear a jersey what are you going to do if they win?
I'll wear a Steelers jersey. Any Steelers jersey you want.
All right, that's fine. I'll do a show and I'll wear a Browns jersey.
And you got to post on, I'll do it as well, Instagram story wearing the other team's jersey.
For this week?
Yeah. So if whoever wins with the spread, I'm giving you the spread. Oh, we got a little.
God.
So just a little Instagram post. That's all.
That's fine. Like story.
Story. Just a story.
All right, that's fine. I'll do that. Why not? I'll do it.
And then if we play again,
too, though. Luke got to get on this.
I'll do it.
Going Browns jerseys. Right. Brown jerseys. Winner. I'll wear Steelers.
And to make it even. Your dad has to put one on too.
My dad will not. You think Terry's put? I don't think Terry's never worn a jersey in his life.
If Spain listens to this, he'll have to put one on.
Yeah, that's fair. Spain will get it on with me.
I'm like posting on social media, so we better not lose this bet.
Dude. Well, I don't know. We got to
And
talk
then-
about.
If we face each other then in the playoffs, that would mean we'd have to win, of course, first. We'll have to come up with something a little more. But
There's so many scenarios going on right now. I want to I don't even know them all. You know what I mean? Like I don't know what can happen. There's so many.
yeah. Well,
But,
speaking of playoff scenarios, I think the most enticing one besides the Browns going like 11-5 and missing the playoffs.
Well, hold on.
What?
I'd like to hear Frank's opinions on the Steelers game today.
I was gonna say, can we talk about the Steelers a little bit?
Come on. I want to talk about that game a little bit.
Luke, you want to start us off?
Yeah,
You know, I like to talk a lot.
Yeah, I mean, that first half, I was texting Frank, I was texting Drew, and I was just like, man, this is painful to watch. Like, I was really not enjoying it. And I was like, and it didn't help too. I was like a full 3 minutes behind. So I ended up turning off my ESPN notifications. I put my phone down. But when we started making that comeback, man, it was 24-7 with 7 minutes to go in the third.
Not even. I'm pretty sure we didn't start moving the ball like this. He threw the touchdown to make it 14 with 4 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, I mean I thought that was a great comeback. But again, it's typical Steelers fashion, finding a way right at the end for them to almost blow it, give us that heart attack. And my dad said the same thing. He was like, I don't want to watch this because I'm just gonna be a piss. Like, I'm gonna get upset about this. But here's what I'll say, Frank. I'll give you a big compliment here. Ben in the second half today, that is the Ben I'm used to seeing. And now
There we go.
And like I told you, that first drive when they went down and they got stopped on fourth, that was surgical. I mean, that was throwing it all over the yard, doing his thing. I mean, if he plays like that, it's hard to beat us. And defense still looks pretty solid. Can't have any complaints with that. And that's like the one thing I'm kind of like riding high on is like, look, we have a good defense. You know, you do need to score points, but you know, if your defenses keep you in the game, I mean, there's always hope. But I don't know. That was a really interesting game today. So, but I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, a roller coaster. Literally first half, I texted in the chat. I always blow up the chat, but I texted in the chat like I've never been so pissed off at the Steelers. Besides, it went from like week, like just kept building and building. Like I was at my breaking point with them in the first half. 21-7, or what was it, 21 or 24-7 at half?
It was 24-7 at half.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or no, I think they kicked the field goal after.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Either way. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, you're right. It didn't matter. But I mean, I was just like, wow. And I was sitting there just at halftime thinking, what happened to this team? Seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how did they get that bad? And I'm starting to think Tomlin's got to go. Ben has to go at this point. I still had faith, but I mean, he came out and he lit them up. Like you said, that drive was surgical and we didn't score.
Yeah.
We had 6 plays on the 1-2 yard line. We didn't score a point. And that's when I'm like, holy crap. But I'm like, you know what? And that's when I started getting optimistic. Like I almost sent in the chat. I was going to be like, could be turned into one of those losses like the Ravens-Browns game where Browns felt good. Like if he played the whole half like that, I would feel a lot better than like where I would still suck because we lost. I would feel better. But I mean, man, that's what I'm talking about. Like, that's what I'm like, this guy's not done yet. Like he can still throw the ball.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what I was going to say. Even if we lost, like a lot of the blame is going to be put on him, but it's not his fault. Like it's not all bench is horrible. The dude is getting hit on slants, which is unbelievable. Like, I don't know how you get hit on a 2-second throw. And they opened up the offense, and that's what happens. You open up the offense, the defense woke up in the second half. I mean, it was unbelievable what they did compared to the first half. They shut them down, besides the 3-point. I mean, they shut them down. You don't win without that defense. Mm-hmm. He started slinging it, got Juju going, got Deontay going, got Claypool on some nice big catches. Mm-hmm. I mean, the dude showed today what he can still do. I don't like him throwing the ball 45 times. I don't like that. But for as how good he played, I think I mean that's a very positive sign in the right direction when we needed it most.
Mm.
I mean, I was sitting there thinking we have no chance to that drive, a little spark, and that throw to Deontay, I got that feeling that I haven't had that feeling in a while where I'm like, the gunslinger is back.
Mm.
Like, this is him. Like, okay, we can come back and win this game. Like, we can come back and win this game. Get a stop, go score. Get a stop, go score. I mean, that throw to Juju, man, they just showed it on Sunday Night Football. The
Dude.
pump, I mean, he laid that in
pump.
there perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, God. He's
That
back.
pump. That one angle they had of him pumping it and that cornerback
Yeah.
stepped up. Dude, that's good. That was
Listen,
that vintage Ben play
we
right
needed
there.
Steelers fans needed this win. I don't
Yeah.
know, probably not a lot of Steelers fans listening to this, but we needed. If you do, you know, we needed this win. You know, there's so much off my shoulders now. The North is locked. They can't do anything about that. We haven't had to worry about playoff like implications and stuff
Right.
like that. Like now we don't.
Yeah.
It's a good team too, and that's the other thing. It wasn't the Jags or the Jets or the Bengals, even though we lost them. Fuck that. Who cares? I mean, look, the Bengals are playing good football now too. I mean, the Texans suck, but the Bengals,
Yeah.
I mean, they're not playing bad.
Yeah.
And I'm happy where we are. I think we could go get killed Sunday, but it won't matter.
It would just be
think
nice
that-
for us for confidence, just to go.
Yeah. Like I would
yeah,
not
but
be
you think-
surprised.
If it's not the starters, Drew, and you guys kill us, and that's just to be expected then, you think, or
No, it's just then good momentum, just
that's
to
good confidence?
yeah, just get in there and go get the job done. I mean, we got to win to get in, so
Yeah.
it's what
Yeah,
it is, you know.
Fair enough.
But like from a Steelers standpoint, speaking on Sunday's game, I don't see how you play. I don't see how you. I mean, they Tony Romo and them talked about the whole game. They said they're mentally gassed right now and they're
Yeah.
physically gassed. So this is your chance. You don't get a bye. You're not getting a bye in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So there's nothing to play for. Sit them.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, I
sit 'em.
agree. I agree.
And I know some people are going to argue, well, I mean, look at that second half. They finally just got things going. Sit them. And I'm also at the point where it's like, if you happen to play the Browns, don't show them anything. Like
Sure.
like I would like, this is the 1 week I'm okay with the 2-yard slants and handoffs. Don't show them anything that you're going to do, especially if you're going to go play them the next week. So why? I mean, you got to sit them. And then of course there's the injury factor. I'm okay with a drive or two, like treat it like a preseason game. But I mean, if we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. Really don't care that much. I mean, it would be nice to keep the Browns out of the playoffs, but is that going to like make my season? No, we're focused on Lombardi's here in Pittsburgh, not wild card rounds.
Yeah, if you knock us out,
like
though, you might be running into then the Ravens in the first
I
round.
don't want to face them. That's the one team in the
Yeah.
playoffs I do not want to play.
Yeah.
More than the Chiefs?
We're going to ignore that today?
They won. Who cares?
Barely. If Young
It was
Hook could make
close.
one.
And
Oh,
Young
but
Hook,
I
dude,
promise you.
Mr. Reliable.
Drew, did you not argue the whole year that the Chiefs and Patriots, when they're good like that, they blow teams they're supposed to blow out?
They already had the 1 seed like locked up, so who cares?
All right.
So they have nothing to play for anymore. They already have the bye. It doesn't matter anymore for them. So
Okay.
I don't think that game matters for them.
I-
There's two different styles of it. The Steelers have just.
I mean, the Falcons have 4 wins, though, still. I mean,
The Falcons
it's not
played everyone well this year for the most part. The Falcons
So
are.
did
The Falcons are like
Mahomes
10 plays away from being like 13-3.
did the Mahomes, like, I mean, that is true, but they still played. So, like, I don't want to hear that excuse. They still played.
I
And they
guess.
won.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't lose.
Yeah.
They still got the job
I
done.
mean, yeah, okay, by 3 points. But, yeah. And you know what? I say to that, we're going to see them eventually, so let's beat them. Let's beat them. I don't care if it's the first, second, third round. It's obviously not going to be the first, but why not? My confidence is at like skyrocketed back up. I got Super Bowl hopes on my mind just from that second half. There's a very strong possibility the first playoff game, that first half team comes right back to life, and I want to kill myself again. But until that happens, I'm going to enjoy it because I know I'm guaranteed 2 more weeks of Pittsburgh Steelers football, and I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it while it lasts.
Here's I'll say that. I'll let you know how I feel on that after Saturday night. After Saturday night, I'll decide if I need to put all of my chips in on the Steelers or not because that game is scaring me.
Well, you know, it's funny. Drew talked about that when I did his rapid fire question. Drew said, "This has the potential to be the worst weekend of my life."
Yeah, it really does.
I can't deal with the Clemson fan slander again. I can't. It's been so many years of them just destroying us.
Dude, it's not going to be Clemson. It's going to be A&M, Cincinnati fans, Florida. Everybody's going to be coming at us.
And my thing is, who cares?
But is it?
I think we're the third best team in the country.
I'm trying to put on the Cavs game, but is it rightfully so?
The Cavs are playing the greatest game of their life right now. They're in the background.
Dude,
they're by 18 on the Sixers.
You should be happy right now.
Yeah, they are. I've got something going for me at least. The Cavs are a playoff basketball team, maybe. Not declaring that yet, but I don't.
Okay, but back to my question. If they do happen to lose, let's sneak some college football in here. If they do happen to lose, can you blame them for being mad?
No, but here's the thing. I think right now in college football, there's different tiers. There's Bama and Clemson, they're number one, and it's not even close to anyone else. Then there's Ohio State, I think, is their own tier. They're better than everyone else, but they're not the number one, number two. They can beat number one, number two in some years, but they're usually not. And then everyone else is Oklahoma, LSU, Georgia, Florida, things like that, who they win games, big games every once in a while, but then they have big time down years.
Yeah, I agree.
I still think Ohio State's the third best team in the country. So even if they go lose to Clemson, I think every other team that didn't make it would just go and lose to Clemson. So
okay, here, and I didn't ask this question, but I know like if anybody's watched our other shows, it's been talked about a lot, and we talk about it a lot. And I'm very curious because I'm gonna argue the hell out of this if you say opposite. What would Texas A&M's record be if they played your schedule?
Probably 6-0.
6-0, okay. Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to clarify. If one of you would have said they would have lost.
No, I don't know.
JaVale McGee is splashing threes. This is two straight games with a three. I'm sorry for that. This is just the shot. We're up by 18 on the Sixers. I wouldn't be shocked. Saving my day at least.
Oh, I got a question though about that. So what do you think, Drew, or both of you, what do you think their record would be like on a normal year if they played the Big Ten schedule?
They probably have 1 to 2 losses.
I would say they had 1 loss.
I'd say 1 loss, yeah.
So, and I think Ohio State goes undefeated in a Big Ten schedule. The Big Ten was really bad this year too. That's the biggest thing.
That's what I will say. The Big Ten, like we didn't get any good. Like those wins were not good, really. So
my biggest problem with A&M is they already lost the team in the playoffs by 30 points. You had your try. If they would have gone and lost by 7 points or whatever, you say, okay, give them a second try.
I know, but they played 11 games though.
Well, how much did Notre Dame lose by to Clemson? I know they beat Clemson before, but
and that's why I can say that's the argument of both of them. That's why in my final rankings I had Cincinnati at 4. We had 2 teams that had 4 and 5 who had already lost to playoff teams. Do I think both those teams are better than Clemson? Or sorry, Cincinnati. Yes, I think both those teams are better than Cincinnati, but we already saw these 2 teams get throttled by playoff teams. It's not like they gave them close games. They got destroyed.
It was either Texas A&M or Notre Dame. It was that. Like I'm fine with the Ohio State thing. Like I'm fine with Ohio State getting it, but they were still. I mean, there's definitely an argument for them not to be in, but you have to put them in because what Drew said. There's the tiers, and you have to put them in. They didn't lose, so you have to put them in. But I think playing 11 games is huge. Like I mean, that's a lot of games, and anything can happen. You saw what happened in that championship game, the Big Ten championship game. Anything can happen. Ohio State pulled away, but I mean, what if it was flipped? Like, what if Ohio State had that like opening, had to play Alabama and they went 11-1? You guys would be pissed. You guys would be pissed.
but that I wouldn't be that angry because we already had a shot at a team in the playoffs. So do we really want to watch Texas A&M?
So did Notre Dame, though.
Texas A&M's not dominated anyone either. They've just
So
been
did Notre
cruising through.
Dame.
The only team they've dominated this year is South Carolina, who is one of the worst teams in the country. If you've watched South Carolina play, they are.
They get a bowl game?
I think they quit their bowl game because they didn't have enough coaches because they all had corona, so they had to quit their bowl game, and a lot of the coaches just quit this team too. It was just that's a mess of a program. But that's besides the point. But we already saw some games happen. Yeah, sorry, that's a joke of a program there. But we saw these teams already have their chance. And like,
yeah, we saw Notre Dame too.
There's more of an argument for me for Florida getting in over an A&M because A&M has been terrible. So if
wait
let me explain.
You argued the hell out of.
No, let me explain.
Oh my god.
No, let me explain. No. So A&M would get thrashed by Alabama if they had to play them again, which we already saw them play and get thrashed. Florida gave them a shot. You can't argue that either of those teams should be in the playoffs. They already got beat by Florida or by Alabama, but I'm just in a mess right now. I'm just frazzled because of Browns. I haven't had
Florida has
brain
3
this entire
losses.
game.
Florida has 3 losses.
They're out, yes.
Yeah, that's nobody's. Yeah,
but Texas A&M lost to the number 1 team in the country.
By 28.
Wait. The number 1. It doesn't matter. They were 1. Everybody in the world thinks they are the best team in college football right now.
We want to see them face that same exact team again and lose by 28.
When did they lose? What week did they lose?
3 or whatever.
Okay. They did what they had to do. They won every single game they had to win, and they won. You can't argue that.
And they didn't. They still managed to have less ranked wins than Ohio State, who played a crappy schedule.
Notre Dame.
5 less games.
Notre Dame. I'm not even talking about Ohio State right now. Notre Dame played Clemson with their quarterback, which, by the way, I did predict Clemson would kill them. And they got killed.
That game's not as bad as everyone's making it out to be.
How is that game not bad, Drew?
Notre Dame was able to drive the ball down. They were able to drive the ball all game on Clemson. They couldn't finish drives. That game, the score looks really bad. But
Texas A&M's game against Bama wasn't that bad either.
It was bad. They couldn't move the ball, and it was a blowout from the beginning. There's a difference between dominating a team and just it's the things you don't see on the stat sheet.
So Notre Dame didn't get dominated by.
No, they got dominated, of course. Like when you just see the score, that's a blowout. But there's a couple plays that flip right for them in that game. It's a different story. There's not just a couple plays that need to flip right for Texas A&M. They were dominated start to finish. It was never close. They weren't like, they didn't complete that fourth down.
What was the final score of that Clemson game? 38-6.
For what?
The Clemson Notre Dame game.
Like 34-10.
Okay, so a couple plays go right, it's 34-21 or something stupid that. They still lost.
There's a couple, so that just come to mind. So Notre Dame, they go down 7-0. They're driving on their first drive of the game. They get inside like the Clemson 30-yard line or so. They drop a 4th down pass that would have nearly scored them a touchdown. Clemson then goes and immediately scores on that next drive. That's instead of being a 7-7 game, it's a 14-0 game, just like that.
I mean, I get it. I mean, I definitely hear. I get it, but not when we're talking playoffs about that. I mean, they got killed. I don't know. I'm definitely on the side where Texas A&M could have
weird year
got in.
And that's why my thing is, again, I will say it. I think every team ranked above Cincinnati is better than Cincinnati, but they played every team on their schedule and they beat every team on their schedule. Do I think they go get crushed by Bama if they played Bama? Yes, but we don't know. So give them a shot. We already know what happens when Texas A&M plays Alabama. They'll go get crushed. So
but we saw. Here's my thing. We argued. We were always with the Cincinnati, BYU, and Coastal thing, how they don't deserve more credit. Look what happened to Coastal last night.
Liberty's not a team.
Should Liberty be a playoff team?
No, they were 1 point away and a terrible Hugh Freeze coaching job away from being undefeated and being in the same situation as Coastal. Of being a just outside the top 10 team who has some decent wins.
My point is, these guys can't hang with the big boys.
15, 18.
That's my point. These guys can't hang with the big boys.
But give them a shot. We don't know that they didn't play the big boys.
We're about to find out when Georgia smacks them on national TV.
Dude,
Just like they said with UCF, that UCF was going to go get smacked by Auburn. They didn't.
Oh my God.
And when UCF lost their second try against LSU, their quarterback was hurt. So they gave LSU a decent game with their backup quarterback, and Mackenzie Milton was carrying those UCF teams.
I mean, can we go through some of the people Cincinnati's played? Did they play Houston, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they just lost to Hawaii. Who else did they play that made a bowl game?
UCF, who got crushed by BYU.
You got crushed by anybody else?
SMU, I don't know their whole. The AAC, they played their conference. They beat Tulsa.
I know, but I'm trying what AAC teams made bowl games?
I'm assuming Tulsa, SMU both made bowl games. Memphis probably made a bowl game. Did Memphis have a good win?
I think Memphis did win. But my point I'm trying to make is they don't play anybody and they're going to get killed. I think that's what's going to happen.
But my thing is with A&M is they didn't really play anyone either. They played their one big game. They lost by 28.
You just said you could argue Florida, and
but here's what it comes down to mostly. It's just basically how good you think the SEC is versus how good the AAC is, and that's really it. If you don't think that the strength of schedule for the AAC or those teams aren't good, but you can still make that same argument for the SEC. Just because it's the SEC doesn't mean some of those teams in there are pretty bad. So,
and A&M had a cakewalk of an SEC schedule. Everyone's just letting that fly under the radar.
I would not call anything a cakewalk in the SEC.
Besides Bama.
Okay.
The Bama game makes it not a cakewalk.
Who had a harder schedule this year? Ohio State or Texas A&M?
If you take the Bama game out, just take that one game out, and then compare the rest of their wins. If you compare wins, each team's wins against each other, Ohio State's wins are better than Texas A&M's wins.
Florida.
Northwestern Indiana. 2-1.
Oh my God, no.
I'd take 2 ranked wins over 1 ranked win.
Northwestern lost to Michigan State.
Florida lost to LSU. Okay, there we go. Bang, boom.
Good point. Good counter. Good counter.
Good point.
I gotta look at
Indiana didn't lose to anyone but Ohio State. And now Indiana's probably going to lose a tough bowl game because Michael Penix is out. And Michael Penix, very underrated quarterback in the Big Ten.
I think Indiana is pretty good. I do think Indiana is pretty good. That's it. It's only Ohio State and Indiana that I think is good in the Big Ten.
Northwestern's going to go surprise someone because their defense is legit.
All right,
very well coached.
All right.
Pat Fitzgerald's
they beat Vanderbilt 24-52 Alabama. They put up 24 against Bama.
Okay, so is everyone.
Florida put up like what?
Florida put up like 60 on them.
Okay, yeah, but that was like the first time.
Ole Miss put up 50 on Bama.
The first game of the year. Okay, they beat Arkansas. They killed South Carolina.
Who I just said was the worst team.
Tennessee got postponed. Ole Miss got postponed.
They faced Tennessee last game of the year.
Beat LSU. They beat Tennessee. Ole Miss was canceled. Okay. And they played North Carolina. Let's look at Ohio State.
Man, they're scary.
But I mean, for Alabama, they played a close game with Missouri, gave up 24 to Texas A&M, 48 to Ole Miss, 24 to Georgia, 17 to Tennessee, Mississippi State, a joke, 0. Kentucky, a joke on offense, 3. Auburn only scored 13. LSU was able to still score 17 despite how awful they are. Arkansas.
Okay, if we're going to talk like that, you guys gave up 25 to Penn State.
But we're not arguing Ohio State being the greatest football team of all time.
Hey, I mean, we're in the playoffs, man. Don't talk.
So it's just a weird argument, but I think that's about all.
I feel like there's too many arguments, too many just.
Yeah, that's it for college football. I think NBA. Good start for my Cavs. I think that's why I have to talk about these Cavalier teams. They are a fun team. If you haven't watched them yet this year, you really need to. Darius Garland is starting to fit into that number 2 role really well. Colin Sexton is the least talked about player in the NBA. That's an all-star. He's going to probably average close to 30 points a game this year and probably still not even playing an all-star game. And Drummond and Kevin Love are just doing their jobs. Okoro's a decent draft pick. So I really like this Cavs team. That's about all I have for the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know much about the NBA. I'll let you guys talk this one out.
I think it's too early to talk about like teams. But the
think the
Cavs, I mean,
one-
yeah, since we're Cavs fans, yeah, they look good. I mean, if they win this game, maybe they'll start to get some attention. But
Feels
yeah,
like the Thunder team from last year where no one was talking about them and they could go sneak into like a 4 or 5 seed just because they have the talent. But
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say 4 or 5.
I mean, either. I still think we're probably the 9 seed based
I
off
mean,
everyone else in the
You
conference.
still got some pretty good teams in the East. With
That's
you
the
got,
East is very underratedly good this year.
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, Orlando's in the East, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Orlando.
I think we can at least finish above in Orlando. There's 8 teams though in the East that I think are better than us. We've got the Nets, obviously.
Is it
Who?
just East and West? This is a stupid question.
Yes.
Okay.
So I think the Nets are better than us. I think the Hawks are better than us. I think the Pacers are. Maybe not the Sixers as much now. They don't have Embiid. We don't have Okoro though, so it's not a wash.
And
That's way
Embiid's not
more.
playing.
No.
Oh, he's on
Well,
my fantasy team.
Celtics are better than us. Heat better than us. Bucks and Raptors are all better. So that's 8 teams right there. It's which of those teams can you surprise and be better than, and just make the playoffs, and then get destroyed by the Nets if you're the 8th seed, because that Nets team is a
Yeah, I
bust.
was just saying.
Well, they're
Nets,
losing to
pretty
Charlotte right now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. The Nets did exactly what you needed to do. Was your 2 games that were on national television against great teams,
good.
you go out and destroy,
Yeah.
and you do it looking dominant.
Who was that today? The Clippers got smoked.
What was
Crazy.
that? He lost
That was
by
crazy.
50. He
What-
scored
Wow.
50.
Kawhi didn't play, did he?
It doesn't matter. No NBA team should lose by 50.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
That's a team we're talking about to win the championship.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy.
I guess I
Hey.
gotta breathe.
Any other sports news?
What should we talk about? Just talking about more NFL games. Eagles are eliminated from the playoffs.
Let's do some predictions for the last 2 other things we haven't talked about. So the NFC East is a really fun finish now. So the Giants face the Cowboys, and the football team faces the Eagles. If the football team wins, they're in. And then if the football team loses, then the winner of the Cowboys Giants game gets in.
Oh, I'm hoping for that. I'm hoping for some chaos, man.
I kind of want the Giants, to be honest.
I'm a football team guy. They
No,
helped
for
me a
sure.
lot in fantasy this year.
If Giants get in, we're gonna have to hear about that from Joe.
Yeah,
He's
so
gonna
let's
do
all
Joe.
actually
Gonna
let's take a
diss
Joe's
time
Tom
out.
Brown.
Let's root
0-1.
against the Giants.
Joe is 0-1, and I hope and you will not listen to it, Joe, but I hope you do. You're 0-1 in your stupid Baker Mayfield jersey, and you lost the worst team in football, second worst team in football, and Browns fans should run to your house and burn that jersey immediately, just because you put it on.
I was wearing a new hoodie during the Browns
Big
game,
case.
and pretty early on, I was sitting there thinking, I don't think I can ever wear this again.
It's funny. I have we have this I don't even know what it's called. It's it's basically a couch, but it's like a 1-seater, and you just spread your legs out. And I lay down. I laid down the whole first half, and then the second half, I literally switched. I sat just like this, like on the edge of it, and then we start coming back. My back is absolutely jacked up because I sat like this the whole entire second half.
That's always me
got
when
one-
we're recording these.
I've got
On
one
his couch.
Steelers shirt, so gets washed once a week. Only wear it on Sundays. So that's all
I got
can.
the sunrise pizza work today. It's all that matters.
Hey, there you go. Love that.
All right, and then the last thing we'll talk about is the other wild card spot for the NFC. So this one's pretty good too. If the Bears beat the Packers, and if the Bears beat the Packers, they're in the playoffs for sure. Then the Cardinals face the Rams. The winner of that game is also in the playoffs, and the loser of that game misses out on the playoffs. Of those 3 teams, which 2 do you think are going to be in?
Wait, so 2 of them get in?
Yes. So if the Bears lose, they're out. If the Bears win, they're in, and then the loser of the Cardinals and Rams game is out.
I think the Rams should get in. I think they're the best team out of those three. I think the Cardinals are frauds.
Yeah.
I mean,
The Rams are looking like frauds right now too, though.
I know, but yeah.
They laid an egg today.
I was trying to think
How about
who they lost to,
Seattle,
and I was
though?
like, Jets. Look,
Seattle saved their season today.
But dude, Seattle.
was
I'm not
that the
sold on them.
division? Are they in?
Yeah, Seattle won their division. And they can still win the NFC 1 seed, too, if the Packers lose tonight. And then
Who's that?
Saints
Packers,
lose.
Titans.
Yeah.
The Titans need to win then, because Dolphins won, right?
Well, the Colts lost.
Oh, okay.
I
Yeah.
don't know how all these tiebreakers work if the Titans lose.
I knew that they said last night if the Dolphins lost, then the Titans clinched. So I think this game's probably.
What do you guys think of this playoff thing?
What do you mean?
The format.
I like it.
I
Makes
don't
it
know if I
exciting.
like it. I really don't know if I like it.
I think it's made it pretty exciting. So
I
don't
just
hate
think
it.
I just think the 2 seed should get a bye.
Yeah, I like it. That's the best. Makes you play the whole season, be the best team in your division conference.
I guess so.
But
I don't know.
I can understand the 2 as well. Either or. I don't. It makes it a better wild card weekend at least.
It does do that.
We're gonna have some good games.
Man, I don't know. I mean,
Okay.
I think I said this in another chat. I said at least we're at the point where we can actually have a conversation with you about playoffs because your team's actually in the hunt.
It's so funny. I got one last question for you,
I
Frank.
was even trying to be funny.
Yeah, and
He's being serious, I think.
yeah, I know it's a serious.
Yeah,
joke.
where's my rapid fire questions this week, huh?
Those are only on losses. Those are on when your team loses.
Yeah,
Oh,
and you got to be on the hot seat for that.
Yeah, it's so when you're really
Going on the
like
hot seat.
frazzled and you're angry about your team losing and you're only giving erratic and emotional responses. to the
It's
question.
just
literally-
a reaction.
That should literally just be hot take something or
All right, so I got
rapid
one last
reaction.
question for both of you. You guys are probably a little more confident in the Steelers right now. Who do you have winning the Super Bowl if we were in February? Who's winning the Super Bowl?
If we're saying we're not going to say the Steelers,
Anyone. Who's winning the Super Bowl right now? Can you say
they
with your
still
heart
got
the
to prove
Steelers?
stuff to me. They still got to prove that wild card game to me.
who?
The
Wait,
Steelers.
who does? Oh,
I think-
okay.
If they, I mean, dude, I don't want to I mean, if I had to go put money on someone, obviously it's the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's what I was going
Yeah.
to say.
I
But
mean,
I
I'm
didn't want to
still a
sound like
realist.
Steelers fan, but
Yeah, I'm still a realist, but I still
Yeah.
think the Bills don't scare me as much as they scare everybody else. And, yeah,
I would probably take the
I-
Packers out of the NFC right now.
the NFC, dude, that thing's wide open. I don't trust them either.
I trust them the most. They've been the most consistent throughout the year, it feels like. The Saints don't have enough offense, and they always choke in the playoffs. So it's hard to pick them.
yeah.
Our preseason prediction still has a chance, though. Saints Chiefs. I mean, I picked the Saints, and then whoever
I
wins
mean,
every year.
They're gonna lie.
Oh, are we getting a good crash ending?
You guys are gonna laugh.
Oh,
If we win that wild card game, I really think. Hello.
Internet's crashed.
Drew,
Well, this is.
Drew, can you hear me?
I think we're just gonna end it here.
Frank, I can hear you.
Oh wait, you guys are back, but I think we're just gonna end it now because my it's fading fast and they're going in and out. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok. Make sure to subscribe, like.
It's like
And,
the Browns,
See
man.
you guys next time. Thanks for watching.